Huh? Let me check Facebook if this is working. As I think. Did I go live? I don't know, maybe also on Twitter. It's my first time using restream.io. It looks pretty amazing on paper, but I'm curious to see if it actually works the way I want it to work. Yeah, I can't really see if I'm on or not. It says I'm live, so I assume I'm live. I think I have one viewer. Can't see who this is, but anyhow. We almost finished UpCoach, building the software, which we've been on this for like almost 2 years. And I'm excited to finally market it. And I read Russell Brunson's Traffic Secret, which is an amazing book, actually. Kind of brought some old memories from the MaxDN days together on, how, but it's very structured. It's really amazing. And he had this thing that blew me away that makes social media much easier, or the effort of creating lots of content for social media. He creates these shows, which is basically a live stream that he does. First, he does like a monologue, then he maybe goes through a top 10 list of whatever awesome things. And then he invites a guest on and interviews the guest, kind of like a late night TV talk show. And the awesome thing is then he takes the first part where he does the monologue and his team cuts this into Instagram stories. Right. So he creates a bunch of content through this. Then with the top 10 list, this will be turned into a blog post. And then the interview will, end up on YouTube. And he'll also use the audio for the podcast. So with one big piece of it is streamed through to all the channels. With restream.io, you can kind of stream everywhere. Right now, I think I'm only streaming to Twitter and Facebook on my profile. So yeah, curious to see how this works. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome thing to get massive exposure. And I also want to try this out because tomorrow I have Mike Payton, the global ambassador of EOS worldwide. And for those of you who know me better, know that I'm a total EOS nerd, and I want to get the most out of this interview that we're having for how we solve. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. So the monologue that I want to have today, or what I want to talk about, is why we start UpCoach, and then kind of give you a quick product demo, and then Q&A, or even while doing this Q&A, since this tool here has a what's it called? A chat where all the chats should come together in case somebody says something. And they have six people on, so I can't see who you are in the software, but if you leave a chat message, then type a comment, I guess I would figure out who you are. But see, oh no, I can see it. Okay, where people are live. All right, anyhow. So the origin story of AppCoach is I have this course called Managing Happiness, where I do a group coaching, helping people to figure out their personal mission, vision, and core values, and their habits and the goals that they have. And initially, I did this coupled together out of Google Docs and WhatsApp groups and Google Sheets, and it was very cumbersome and not a good user experience and a lot of work for me. So I want to build something that makes my life easier. Especially a group habit tracker was something I couldn't find anywhere the way I wanted it. And so Merit, big shout out to you, started building me one. It all started with the group habit tracker, and then it got better and better and better and better and better, to the point where we actually had a really cool piece of software for group coaching. And I used it to coach the leadership teams of my portfolio businesses, and it all worked pretty well. Didn't really think about turning this into a separate product, and then I reached out to Todd Herman, a buddy of mine that I met through a entrepreneur dinner that Eric Zhu threw. So thank you very much for connecting us, Eric. And he's a very well-known coach who's been doing this for over 20 years. And I showed him my software and said, like, hey man, I built this coaching software, even though I'm not a real coach. What do you think about this? And he really loved it and said, like, hey, I want to invest, let's make this big. And here we are now, quite some time later, with ready to launch. I'm pretty excited to finally going back on the marketing track and start to push out more content, because it was like very product development heavy for quite a while. And what did I want to show you? Actually, I want to show you something how we got started. Initially, I want to kind of find out more about the coaching space, because I'm not a coach by trade. And I heard a story where the colonel, or no, what's the highest one in the military? I don't know. I'm a total hippie, so pacifist. I don't know, but the highest ranking general, I guess, in the U.S. Army met with the highest ranking general of the Viet Cong army of the Vietnam of Vietnam. 10 years or 15 years after the war had ended, and he asked them like, hey, how could you beat us? We had like way more money, way more people, way better technology, etc. How are we able to beat us? And he said, we understood the jungle better. And so I want to understand the coaching jungle better. So I did like a lot of interviews, and I talked to so many different coaches to kind of understand, how the coaching world works. And see if I can share this here. I used this document here. I kind of grayed out who it was. Basically, when you scroll here over there, then you see the other people that I interviewed. And I basically, first kind of figured out what they're doing, what their current priorities are in their business, etc. Then I went through their current situation on how they're coaching, what they're using for communication, for scheduling, for payments, etc. Kind of like to get a grip on where the market is. And then the magic wand question was always, very fruitful. Kind of if they could, wave the magic wand, what would they would like to see, as a solution? What's kind of missing? And then I gave them the product demo on AppCoach, what we had built so far. And then I went over these questions, kind of figuring out, what was awesome in there, what didn't really matter. And this was so insightful. Definitely over 100 people. And yeah, this was super insightful to kind of really find out what we want, what we have built. And for any of you who's building a SaaS product right now, or even a service product, I'm happy to share this doc with you, or the template of this, because it was super helpful. So yeah, I want to show you AppCoach and how it works. Let me just kind of switch over here and show you AppCoach. As mentioned, it's a coaching software. Initially just group coaching, but now you can kind of, do one-on-one and masterminds and everything. This is the front end here. I think I can make this a little bigger so you can see it better. So that's the front end that the coachee or the coach's client sees. And, you can have videos, you can have courses, and the courses have different modules, of course. And each module can have to-dos or habits attached with them. And then, they will be automatically added to the to-do or habit tracker of this person that's going through this. And the very powerful thing that I found in my managing happiness coaching was that the seeing actually the others, there's nobody in here aside from me in this group. You see, if you have other people in there, if it's not a one-on-one coaching, then you see the to-dos and the habits of the other members, which is pretty powerful. Positive peer pressure works pretty well to get people to do what you want them to do. Actually, let me show you how this all works. So initially, we got the 100 people in, and then we closed the doors, and we had like, I don't know, a little less than half actively using it, and they gave us so much feedback, and we completely changed the entire app and how it works. And what we came up with is something pretty cool. It works like a drag and drop builder, like a WordPress drag and drop builder. We can build your program fairly easy. For example, you can drag in the forum block if you want the forum in your thingy. At the categories, there are announcements, recordings, discussion, whatever you want to put in here. Or you want a habit tracker, as I mentioned before. It's I'm a big believer in habits. I think habits determine everything in your life. If you're rich or poor, happy or unhappy, fat or in shape, it all boils down to which habits you cultivate. So actually, this is the piece of software. Actually, it's rewritten 3 times, but this is the original idea that got UpCoach started. So yeah, that's the habit tracker. And some design elements. Actually, the button is not only a design element; it's pretty powerful. So you can kind of link the what's it called? Link your Calendly or whatever scheduling thing you use behind this. So pretty useful for coaches. And yeah, so let me find a group coaching. I think it should be in here. Our agendas, but we don't have agendas enabled here. Gotta find another one. Zia always change these up in the demo org, so actually I can just like pull one in. Technically, start here should have one. No agenda. I guess we remove the agendas. Anyhow, I'll show them to you on the back end. Everything we did here is, like a drag and drop builder where you can create whatever you want to create. No agenda, whatever, one-on-one meeting. Agenda, starting from scratch. No, come on. The agenda always has like a timer up here and, link to Zoom or whatever you're using. And I always like to start with updates. Hello? I guess we have a glitch with the agenda builder. Beautiful. Yeah, I guess maybe there is a problem with that, which is classic for my first live, but let's see. Where can we find the agenda? Actually, I know where to find the agenda. I can probably find one in Mert and my. What we have in here. So this is like from our. We also use AppCoach to run our business in here. We have our mission and vision here. We have a forum where we have announcements, updates, etc. Then we have subgroups. You can have subgroups, which is pretty useful when you run a coaching program where a lot of coaches have like different tiers, where you have like the general population where everybody's in. You can have a forum for everybody, and then in the subs that are just like another program, you can have another forum that nobody else can see aside from the people who are in this group. So it works pretty awesome. Okay, view agenda. So actually, I should not really show you this because this is like the internal stuff that we're working on. But I'm a big fan of agendas. They help you to structure meetings, and you just get better results when you use agendas. Kind of going back to I'm an EOS nerd, entrepreneurial operating system, and they have the level 10 meetings, which I'm absolutely in with. So yeah, I guess this is enough for my test to see if restream works, and let's turn this off, and if this has recorded so I can use it for the podcast. And yeah, the only things, I don't know if the chat functionality worked or if you just don't want to talk to me, guys. What's going on? Say something. I see a bunch of people online, but whatever. I'm gonna stop this now. Thank you. Rock and roll. You're gonna see more of those from me, and I think they're gonna be better, and I think then we will not have any issues with the agenda builder. And